What's up, everybody? Today is December 22nd. I just want to run through, look at the setups from today, analyze price action, and take some lessons from it. So without further ado, let's hop in. All right, so I'm at NQ chart pretty much all marked up right now. So we're just going to start with kind of naked from today, and then we'll see, kind of explain how I'm seeing everything starting from there, right? All right, so bigger time frame, this one I always have marked, right? For my bigger time frame levels, this is what I'm looking at, right? Let's go to like a 4 hour. So we're checking out price, right? We come a ton lower. We sweep this internal level right here. We start to push higher, right? We make this 4 hour change in the state right here. Really clean inverse right here. Okay, that looks good. Now market comes all the way up. We leave equal highs with this one right here, and this daily for value gap. Okay, that looks like a magnet draw, right? We leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bro. So many equal rested highs up here. Even if they've taken each other just by a tiny bit, we're very close, right? So that's a liquidity pool that we can look to get pulled back to eventually. So what do we do, right? After that, we start to come lower and we pull back to 0.5 and we just tease into that OTE range right here, right? So looks really good from here. Now, what else do we pull back into that inverse? Really nice. We don't have an SMT on this level, but I wish we did, right? So now from here, this is a bigger time frame model, right? So this becomes sell side and this is buy side, right? Now, in terms of this model, what happens, right? After we see that, we get a bounce. We get pretty much the same exact thing, right? We get this really clean inverse right here. Boom, right here, inverse, change in the state right here. We open with new value gaps, looking really good. We look bullish as flip, right? So today is a Monday, so we open with that new week open gap, trying to see how can I fit that into the analysis. So let's just mark that out, right? I'm going to be looking at, I think NQ today, maybe a little bit yes. Let's just go, right? So a new week open gap right here. And coming into the day, right, we open, and this is pretty much what we're looking at. Like literally a completely straight up chart. I have no clue what we want to do. The only things that are potentially telling me my bias, I'll show you guys right now, right? We have Asia session, midnight open below us, right? So midnight open is below us, potentially tells us we might want to rebalance there throughout the day, right? So we could have a short bias going into open or later in the day, right? As well, we have untapped London and Asia lows, right? That's a reason that we could want to go take those levels, right? A third thing is we have a new week open gap below us, right? But what those things tell us is that eventually we can go take those levels, right? It could be the day of tomorrow, it could be today, it could be later in the week. It doesn't really matter, right? So those things tell me there's a chance that we go take lower, but it doesn't tell me for sure that it's today, right? The only other thing that we really had with this bigger time frame, very, very obviously bullish bias, is we had an SMT on this high right here, right? Where does that SMT occur? Right around, I think, OTE 0.705 of this range, right? So literally right at 0.705 of this range, we see that SMT. And I'm not pulling that over like, oh my gosh, look, perfect alignment. I'm just saying it's there, right? If you want to really use concrete analysis, right? So going into the day, what happens with all that, right? We have our SMT here. And then as well, looking at this as just a naked chart, we have a reason to push lower. And then we also have a ton of generated liquidity, right? So right here, 5 minute, boom. Let's see, what does the market do on open, right? On open, we pretty much open and we just play around a little bit. And then at 9:33, huge dick down candle, right? We place in, this becomes first presented here. And this is kind of where we want to start questioning the bias, right? Completely honestly, today I wasn't even on the charts because I opened and I just looked at this and I'm like, literally a completely no news Monday on Christmas week. This is probably some of the worst price conditions, and even the technical analysis is booty, so I'm not even gonna get on, right? And I looked at this probably somewhere around here and I was like, bro, there's no way we're doing anything today. So coming into the day, this first couple candles kind of shows us what's going on, right? So seeing it here, what do we now know, right? That kind of displacement lower gives us a bit of a 5 minute change, but here's why I don't take a short and why I wouldn't have taken a short, right? So this 5 minute change comes down and what does it do? It takes London low all the way over here, right? So we're looking at a London low manipulation, right? And in terms of a bigger time frame bias, this is a good reason that if we want to manipulate London low, this can be our manipulation, right? This can be our manipulation with the SMT there. Now, if we want to see price push higher after this swift manipulation lower, this doesn't even look bad, right? So I'm not taking longs, right? I'm not really taking anything because I don't like this price action. We could definitely go a little bit, like it's not that bad, but I want to see generated liquidity whenever I'm taking a trade, right? This isn't really enough. This is kind of enough. We took a long somewhere around here. That's not bad, but what does the market end up doing, right? We end up kind of just pushing higher and we pull back to where, right? We pull back right to around OT of this range as well. We tap OT, then we push lower, right? No SMTs here, but this now becomes an internal model, right? So this is a really good, honestly, this is probably the best trade and pretty much the only trade from today. There's one on ES, but this is probably the best, right? Right here is how I would take this. Stop at that low. This becomes my first take profit, and then second take profit goes all the way down here. This ends up banging, honestly, pretty efficiently, but it's kind of nitpicked and the price conditions aren't the best, right? Because on this move higher, we pull back to where? To our 5-minute change and everything's good, to our 1-minute change, everything's nice, right? However, there's no reason that we should continue this second leg down in terms of this model, right? Like this is clean, but then you add the context of the bigger time frame, there's no reason that we should just start dumping here out of nowhere, right? So it's kind of like reacting and you see this initial dump and then you have to decide, is that manipulation or is that displacement, right? And to make that assumption, you have to have context behind it to concretely know. And if you can't concretely know, then don't take the trade, right? So in this situation, even without that context, it is more likely for that move lower right here to be manipulation than to be distribution, right? That's just a fact. So then we kind of see this play out. And after this, we placed into SMT here, and then we kind of didn't even get any moves up. But if we did start to get price to really push right here, this honestly would not have been a bad long. Like this is what I'm expecting. If I got a nice displacement higher, that probably would have been the nicest long setup of the day and the only valid setup, something like that. That's honestly what I'd expect price to do in an efficient market, or really not getting any of that, right? So price kind of plays around there. And then from here, ES barely takes the low. It kind of plays in a huge SMT like this, where we don't even, we'll just check out ES right now. So yeah, ES does not take that level. And from there, we just work higher like really, really fast. Pull that over, right? So 1-minute chart. Yeah, so look, we kind of place in that big SMT and then we just work higher. There's really no way to get involved. Even looking to get involved in that for value gap is not good. You would have had to take something like this, stop in terms of the for value gap right there, and then first take profit and only take profit really here. This is all you really could take and trade that change. But even then, like this is super nitpicky, and there's no reason that the market shouldn't do this. Like there's no reason the market shouldn't go like, boom, okay, yeah, I tapped you, and then it just goes, it stops you out. That's what I expect the market to do in an inefficient day like this. So if you took that long and you didn't trade it like this, at least like this, I'm gonna say that it's most likely invalid, and I probably wouldn't have taken it, right? You can get a 1-to-1 here. Like I don't think this is really that bad, but I'm not a 1-to-1 trader, and I'm not that type of guy, right? So not taking a trade like this. So yeah, overall, a pretty dirty day of price action. I just want to say, moving forward, like we have to be able to be happy with not trading, understand kind of like what actual conditions are, like especially in the month of December, bro. We have to know this is not a good day to trade. Even if this looks good, don't let your eyes deceive you. Like use your brain and say, bro, conditions are not it. Don't take this trade, blah, blah, blah. Use your brain and really discern. Discernment is going to be our biggest tool in this period of bad price action, right? And we're waiting. Second we get out of Christmas, bro, is when we can start to see some good price action. Second, like January 1st, 2nd, bro, it's gonna be very nice, beautiful price action. I'm excited for the week. So without further ado, you guys go. Hope you guys can understand some of the lessons I'm trying to convey here. And like another thing, just looking at this right now, once you see we take both sides of the market, like ES, look, ES goes lower, takes lows, SMT takes highs. We take double objectives for the day. What do? Price jerks itself because we've already had our distribution phases, we've already done it, and we've taken our objectives. So what does price have to do? Accumulate, create more liquidity pools for price to later in the night and in the day tomorrow manipulate and then distribute to go take them, right? That's ambi cycles. That's how price works with objectives and all that, right? So that's gonna be the end of the video. So hope you guys enjoyed, hope you guys learned something, and I'm gonna let you guys go. So thank you for showing up, and peace out.